Now, who has been involved or listened to Canada Reads? Yeah? Well, we're not doing that. No, we're doing Nelson Reads, and it's a twist on Canada Reads.
There we go. Got it?
Well, good morning. I'm supposed to be presenting on Stephen Reed, and I'll just tell you a little bit about him, and then I'm going to read a brief excerpt from the novel Jackrabbit Parole. Stephen was born in 1950 in a little town in northern Ontario called Massey, which is on the north shore of Lake Huron, halfway between Sudbury and the Sault Ste. Marie, if you know that area. He's been a career criminal his whole life. He first goes to jail when he's 30 years old for a 21-year sentence for armed robbery. And this is because he was part of a group in the US and Canada of robbers called the Stopwatch Gang. They would take 2 minutes in a bank to come in, get everybody on the floor, get the money from the tellers, and then leave. And the cops estimated that over the years, they took in about $15 million. So these guys are serious. In 12 years after he was released on parole for that, he got an 18-year jail sentence for shooting up downtown Victoria in another robbery. So, as I say, a serious guy. He's most famous probably though for when he was in jail the first time, the 21 years sentence, he submitted his work to Susan Musgrave, who was at that time the writer-in-residence at the University of Waterloo. And he submitted in 1984, and they were married in 1986. And out of that came the novel Jackrabbit Parole that I'm gonna read an excerpt from in just a few minutes. And what he is very, very funny. When some years ago I was teaching at over in Kelowna at Okanagan University College, and we had both Stephen and Susan to read, and we were standing outside in the hallway waiting to go into the classroom where the reading was going to be. And Stephen turned to me and said, I don't know why I'm so nervous about these readings. I've told more people than this to lie face down. But there's a dark side to him, as you might imagine. Armed robbery itself is no joke. When people in mass are pointing guns at you, it's pretty awful. It's awful for the customers and for the tellers. So, the alley, get to the alley. I thumbed shut the safety on the Uzi and drew the .30-06 from its sheath. How close are they, Bob? Go, get in the alley, you know what to do. I worked the rifle roughly. Just go, Emile, I got him. The bolt slammed forward, driving home a shell the size of a grown man's finger. It was a chase gun. Emile eased out of the parking space. He drove controlled. We weren't in any hurry now. The sirens were too close to outrun. The people in the bank would point our direction out to the police. We'd enter the laneway, stop there, and wait for the chase car. I would blow one through the middle of their windshield when they entered behind us. If they kept coming, I would blow one through the middle of, they wouldn't keep coming. We had learned long ago that letting ourselves be chased by the first uniformed officers who came upon us during a robbery was a dangerous mistake. A cop chase becomes a rolling snowball. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and besides, a revolver in excited hands at 30 paces is less perilous than careening through city streets at high speeds. Emile would park 200 feet down the alleyway. I would cool their ardor. I hefted the .30-06 and placed my other hand on Emile's shoulder, touching him, grounding myself. I had to do the next part right, or people would die.